Everyone's gonna tell you that cold SMS is illegal. They're doing it wrong. And I'm telling you that from a gym in which I let my laptop run 300 SMS texts to new clients and prospects and then got me some interested leads while I'm about to go work out. Okay. The answer is it's legal if you do it correctly. Cold SMS has the highest response rate, positive and negative, just general response rate of any cold outreach method. And it's the only medium where you can directly talk to the person you want to speak to every shot you take. With organic content, you post a reel and you get 100 random people. If you run paid ads, you're getting leads in, but you have to pay so much per lead that comes in. And it's complicated. With SMS, you just say, I want to find this person, make a list, send a text out, which is why the legality of it is so heard of. Because in the past, people were using this as a scam, and there's a bunch of people online that were trying to scam people. So the government had to put some laws in place. I'm gonna show you right now how that does not affect the campaign success that I run, that we run. Because we're not scammers, and the government's laws are for scammers. And we're not scammers, therefore we'll be okay. And I'll explain to you why in this video. We're gonna cover these things: private right to action, the legality of sending a first message, the fact that if you do get sued in any regard, they're gonna have to go through all the messages sent from your phone numbers and your accounts, and it'll be an average of what you've done, and how that protects you, and iOS and spam filtering and how it affects cold SMS being sent out. Bear in mind, if you don't wanna deal with any of this, you want me to just handle it for you, we do full installs. If you wanna know information, go in the description. The act of sending a cold SMS text is not completely prohibited. It's prohibited to send it to someone who is not opted in some way online. If it's a business owner, they put their number online in order to be contacted in pretty much all cases. And the reason why it's bad is if you send them and spam them. If you send them a first text and then after that first text, they tell you to stop messaging them and you keep texting them, or you're sending back to back texts and there's no response, no positive reply, then you're in a non-defensible position. The issue is, right now as it stands, when you send someone a message and you're continuing to spam them and they can argue that you're doing bad things toward them, then they can sue you. This is a right to action, not a law saying you can't text people in the cold, especially if they're business owners. That's when the fines come in. That's when you see like, oh, you get charged $500 or whatever for every text you sent because there's a person who's being abused, or an old person that's being spammed, or a business owner that's said they don't want to talk anymore and you keep texting them. That's the problem. Now the opt-outs and everything are to protect you. So if someone texts you stop or a negative response, you need to stop messaging. You're legally allowed to send a first message to businesses. When you register your verified numbers through a sender like us, then you're allowed to get them deliverable, meaning they're gonna pass a lot of the spam filters up front because you're sending from A2P verified numbers. This also is affected by Google Voice numbers. These numbers are already registered in the registry online, so when someone texts from that number, Verizon, T-Mobile can see your LLC and you're associated with a person that is not a scammer. When that happens, you do not get sent to spam, especially if you're doing the right messages. Now, if you start sending URL links and a bunch of like crap links to random websites and stuff like that, then you can get put in spam, but that's after you have a crazy bad deliverability. Compare this to cold email. On cold email, every email provider ever has to make sure they have a less than 0.3% negative complaint rate. If they get a negative complaint rate of anything over 0.3, so 1/3 of 1%, the entire domain is banned. With SMS, there's much more area because there's not a specific percentage ban when it comes to your number getting spammed. It takes longer, one, and two, if you do have any issues, they'll go back over your history and they'll find out whether or not you have a bad track record, rather than just looking at one situation and saying, oh, you're a bad person and charging you, which is how people think, oh, I'm gonna send one text and get legally. No, it's not like that. So now we've covered private right to action, the fact that you're legally allowed to send messages, and you need to make sure that you're in a defensible position, and you are in one after you send one message and you don't spam them. 3, they go over the collection of messages you've had in the past to verify whether you're a good or bad person, which is helpful to you because you're obviously going to be sending one message to folks who want to get business. You're not sending it to someone's grandma. You're not sending it to some cousin. If that happens, they'll say stop and you're done, meaning you're a good person, you're not a scammer. You can prove this in your position if you ever get sued, which is a thing that can happen with any business ever. There's businesses that have been around for, you're gonna have people that sue you in general. So this is a normal risk. It doesn't matter if you want an 8% response rate or not, compared to cold email, which is maxed out And this is marketing material for instantly of like 2 or 3%. That's maxed out. And I've had a worse one than that, because when you pull these email lists, they're already assumed. No one reads email like text messages. If I text you as a human, I have a much higher response rate than if I text you as a human on email, because nobody reads freaking email in general. Okay, that's a bit biased. I don't lie. That's a bit biased toward emails, but if I email you, you know I'm on some business shit. If I SMS text you, it's like a mix of personal and business, and I can leverage that when I'm communicating to you. iOS and spam filtering. I got a text from someone saying, what you gonna do with the iOS update for spam filtering? There's 2 mechanisms on the iPhone that have always been there. The new update is just repackaging those things. It's not gonna increase the amount of folks that get blurred out, especially if they're business owners. The issue is for someone who's a customer and they're getting a bunch of texts from random people trying to sell them stuff. The 2 mechanisms are: 1, basic spam filtering. If you're texting someone and it's not A2P verified, your LLC is not attached to it, or you're not attached to some verified business in the US or overseas, then you're gonna get filtered immediately. Second is the ability to opt in to never seeing text from unread people. That has always been there. The only difference is the packaging of the update. It'll show it differently. I ran this for a while as a business owner, and I had it verified to not let me see anyone that was unread, and I literally couldn't have sales calls because I would get sent a referral by someone that knew me, and it would spam it out or flag it out. People get referrals. Business owners get new leads every day through Google or whatever. They're gonna have their phone open to have people respond to. The issue is, if your number is not verified, you get gone straight to the freaking spam folder. So verify your numbers and then send 1 text at a time. And if they have a positive reply, then continue texting them. If there's no reply, stop texting them or wait months. That's how you offset a situation and how we get around the spam filtering on iOS. And also with this iOS spam filtering thing, be aware that business owners want to be messaged. Business owners have allotted budgets in order to put money toward testing other people's marketing strategies, and the more you can do that for them, the happier they are. Especially if it's consulting, especially if it's new relationships. How many people have you heard online getting a cold email or a cold text that they actually read and it led to a relationship? Like, people are gonna be doing this. The issue is if you're a bad person or using it wrongly or you're abusing the power. That's what happened in the past, which is why there's a bunch of laws around it, because there was people that were sending millions of texts and scamming grandmas. You're not getting scammed, and you're not a grandma, and you're not gonna scam someone else.